let's start. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tsubasa. I'm working for Enterprise Estonia. Today, we will have a seminar and also the webinar. This is the first time for last 2 years that we can have actually the physical seminar. Today, I expect around 14 people are coming in that physically, and then there are already, I think, also 14 people are now in Zoom. So we will continue as this hybrid style. And then today, the agenda is that first I will introduce about EAS and then what we do, and then next we will introduce the Mr. Koh-ichi Masaki. He's from JMA, Japan Management Association, and then he will talk about the key to enter the Japanese market. And then next, Mr. Takeshi Morisato. He's a visiting professor of the KU Leuven from Brussels. He will talk about the consumer trend in Japan. And then in the last, not least, but Mr. Kota Alex Saito. He's a representative of the Toton OU. He started selling the sauna in Japan recently, and then he will share his experience. And so in the end, we will summarize. So the seminar will continue until 12 o'clock or a bit 12:30. Okay, and then as some rules for the seminar. So if you're attending physically, you can ask anytime. So if you have a question during the presentation, just raise your hand or ask questions. And then for the Zoom participants, it's difficult to read all the questions. So we will answer your question during the Q&A session. So if you have a question, please write in the chat box. So we will catch your questions and then answer them in the end. So let's start from Japan EAS. So we are Asia Keskus. In English, we say that we are Asia Trade Agency. So we focus on the Asia in the EAS organization. I am the representative of the Japan. I'm helping the Estonian company to export to Japan. And then it's quite often that the companies who are interested in Japan, usually interested in also China or South Korea or India, like in other Asian countries. Thus, we have other colleagues. Rafa, he's Spanish, but he has a lot of experience in China. So if you have any questions, please contact him. He's in Estonia. He's based in Tallinn. Also saying Grace, she's a representative of the India market. She also works in Tallinn. And then Johanna, she's a representative of the Southeast Asia. So if you are looking for some new opportunities in those countries, please contact her. And in the right side, the Ilaria, Vinod, and the Crystal, they are the representative in the local countries. Ilaria is in Beijing, Vinod in Delhi, and then Crystal is in Singapore. So we have also some services. If you go to our website in EAS, there's a service that you can see for China, Japan, India, Singapore. We provide several services, most of them free of charge. So if you have any questions, just contact us. What we will do for the paid services is that we also create market research report. So based on your request, your preference, we conduct the report. It consists of 10 to 15 pages. At the moment, it costs €300, which is quite cheap compared to if you ask the private consulting companies. And also, we also provide export partner search service. This is the service that if you apply, then EAS will arrange the 5 meetings 5 potential meetings with Japanese companies or Chinese companies, and then also bring you the small summary of the market. Usually it costs €500, but at the moment, because of the COVID situation, we also offer the discounted price. It's now €250. So this is quite good, as you cannot travel to Asia countries now, especially in China, also Singapore as well. Japan, if you don't have the resident permit in Japan, you cannot enter Japan at the moment. So it's also not many, but sometimes also it's possible to start business with Japanese companies even during the COVID time. I know one company last year just started selling the product in April when the COVID just started. So it's not impossible, it's possible. So that's my quick short introduction about the EAS. So now I will give the floor to the Mr. Koh-ichi Masaki. He will talk about the market, the key figures and so on. So wait a moment. And please, I can do this. So who next? Home. あ、これか。これですね。そうです。はい。これですね。はい。Okay. Now everything's okay. Just check. Sorry, there is some technical problem. So good morning, everybody. I never sort of speaking. I never start speaking in front of Estonian people, so I'm very nervous. But I think you also quite nervous because you never speak with the Japanese. I think anyway. Hello, everybody. Other side of the Zoom. My name is Koh-ichi Masaki. Today we have our colleague and then also the Dr. Morisato try to make you understand how to come into Japan. Okay. Actually, my colleague, she's now sitting in Tokyo, Chelsea. She's also quite knowledgeable persons about building materials and then also the hotel and restaurants. By the way, hotel restaurant is related to all the constructions because we use a lot of wood. Okay, so Chelsea, say something to everybody.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Okay, good. Is that all? Okay. The reason why she's there is that she's responsible of the building and then hotel restaurant show. So if there are some questions, what sort of company, timber company, what sort of construction companies there, how they communicate with the client, she can answer to you. Okay. Luckily, you know, we are now in the online, so even at the 6 hours ahead, she can attend. I think it's quite good. Also, if she wants, if you wanted to know some certain contact companies, please let her know. Okay, good. Then I'm going to go ahead together with Dr. Morisato. Later on, I'm going to explain who is the Dr. Morisato and why he as well. Also, later on, I'm going to introduce Mr. Kurahashi. Mr. Kurahashi is actually doing a business with a wood company in Japan, and then he's really like a go-between persons, very, very important persons. And then I'm going to explain you why he's here. So first one is that I like to do the just the rough presentations. What is the JMA? Because if you don't know what's the JMA, maybe you don't believe what I'm saying because I'm look like a Japanese, but maybe I'm saying just a bullshit. Actually, the JMA has all the knowledge
That's the reason why I wanted to tell you who is the JMA. It's very important. JMA, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Yoshito. It's nearly we're doing the same sort of directions of the business. Difference is that the our organizations founded by the grandfather of ex-prime minister. That was just before end of the Second World War II, so the 1942. And the objective of this JMA is to fertilize the Japanese industrializations. At that time, we tried to sort of learn from states or also from Europe, so that the Japanese industry become more, how can I say, getting a more muscle. And then after finished the Second World War II, we go into the more sort of industrializations. In there is many industry, like a car industry, of course, wood and forest industry, fishery, food industry, all those industry, our organizations try to make more grow. And certain point in time, Japan, we do not have any natural resources. We don't have any petrol. We don't have really nothing. Only the way to survive is to make a shake and partnership. So our idea changed it, not like making something and then sell it. That does not work. Actually, that was actually when we had a trade barrier dispute with Ronald Reagan's, they pushed back us. And then from that time, we really changed the direction more to the making a shake hand, and also before we sell it, let's buy something from another country and then put the value added sort of transformations, and then we can sell it. So for example, like a wood, we buy the, so first you cut the wood and then do it for the lumber, and then we're going to make it laminated wood, or we're going to do some treatment, and then you sell it to us and then make some value additions, and then we sell it to the Japanese consumer. Or Japan is actually situated in the hub situation of the whole Asian. So therefore, we can sell it to another neighboring country. Such kind of thing, our organizations are sort of helping. We are not the company, we are government attached organizations. This is talking about industry sort of fertilizations of Japan and the relations to the foreign country. But also we're doing a lot of front research. For example, maybe if somebody working on the car industry, we call it the SMET, single method of the exchange die. In other words, the Japanese car, we make a car like one car is a green, another one is a red. Each car is a different model. And changing of the die, like a system, normally if you go to a certain country, it takes 1 day. But because of our system, it can be made less than 1 minute. That means certain second we can change it. And of course, timber industry also become mechanizations. We can utilize such kind of things. Maybe whether possible to use or not, maybe I need to ask Mr. Karashi. But anyway, the industrializations, also making a shake handle, also using our front technology. I think in the future, we can make a shake hand between Japan and then Estonia. Okay. So this is actually a nutshell of our organizations. We do a lot of conference. Conference means like meeting with you to understand what you're doing, and then also we're going to tell what Japan is doing. The second one is that after we understand it, we need to help the Estonian company. Either we're going to give you the list of the company, that's one way. Like, okay, there is a lot of construction company, I give it to you, and then you do it by yourself. That's one way.
Masaki-san?
Yes.
Sorry, the PowerPoint is not, it is still in the agenda page.
It does not go down still. You cannot see this page?
No, I cannot. It stops at the agenda page.
Can you see it right now?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you, Chelsea. If there is something, just stop me, okay? So,
Okay.
and then you understand what sort of company is a potential company, but in order to build a strong tie, you need to meet with them. And then in order to meet with the potential partner, its best way is, going to the exhibitions. There is a two-way of exhibitions. Either you're going to bring your product and show it. Another one is just to go to the exhibitions to meet with a partner. There is a lot of other ways to use it. Or maybe you can do some speech. And then after that, you're going to make a strong tie-up. Then maybe we're going to do the training, like how to make a contract with a Japanese company. What is the good ways to leveling up the understanding of the specification? We do some training because our organizations also authorize the assessor of ISO. So most of the Japanese companies, they ask us whether we have passed the ISO or not. Also, there is another standard. This is not our organization, but the GIS standards. All those companies is our sister organizations, right? I do not want to go too much. Chelsea, can you see the second page?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then actually, this is me. I'm not that important, so I just cut it off. Chelsea, can you see? Can you see my picture?
Not yet. Oh, yes, I can see it.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. What I want to say is very simple. So I'm working for this JMA, and then I'm a partner, and I'm sitting in Europe. So if you need to have something, just call me. Only 1 hour difference because my place is in the Brussels. Also, we have the office in the Göteborg in Sweden, but most of the time I'm in Brussels, and then it's really close to the EU. All right. And then also I'm helping. It's called the BJA, Belgian Japan Associations. The reason is exactly the same. We try to help the Belgian companies coming to Japan. So if there is something which I can be of help, please let me know. Right. Okay, now here I like to introduce Dr. Morisato. It's coming. Chelsea, can you see the CV of Dr. Morisato?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's fine.
Yeah, then Dr. Morisato, if you could just explain yourself.
Should I stand in there?
Yes, I think it's better.
Okay.
And here's camera there. Then everybody can see you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Takeshi Morisato. I'm a specialist of Japanese and European philosophy and comparative philosophy. So I studied the intellectual history of Europe and intellectual history of Japan. I'm the expert of someone who can talk about intercultural communications. When Japanese person talk to you, you responded, it's communication failure. I'm the guy to talk to about why that communication failed. Because from one perspective, it always makes sense. From the one perspective, but from the other perspective, it doesn't. So my specialization is intellectual history, but as a part of Japanese studies program, I often do these consulting works to explain how Japanese people think about object and how that is different from the way in which I've never been to Estonia, so I still have to learn a lot from you guys, how the Estonian perspective on the culture and object and economy and all these things. But I usually have an understanding of European perspective. So that's my specialization. And I didn't expect that I would be sharing my CV. So you don't have to read this, but you just need to know that I'm the specialist of cross-cultural and intercultural communications. Thank you.
Thank you, Rest. And then if you want, I can keep this one to you, so maybe you can point in tracks, right? PowerPoint に戻りたいんですけど。Okay. Right. Then we go to the main. That was not the next page. Okay. I'd like to go to the main frame. First one is that I like to do the sort of process check, somebody needs to go very quickly, like before 12:30. No, everybody can stay there.
Around 12.
Around 12.
10.
12 or 10. Okay. Then before. Okay. Before that, I give you the answer. Okay. Right. The second question is that the most of you are related to the wood business, right? Like a timber, lumber. Any other persons like related to totally other things? No. Okay. Good. Right. And another one is like because we are like a very small group, and please, other side of people also you can use your, how can I say, raising hand or something. But anyway, here not many people. So if there is something, please interrupt. Like I do not understand it. You see, I know I heard from Mr. Yoshito that the Estonian people is very polite. So you don't want to kind of maybe if I say something stupid, but you say, this guy's a stupid, you don't say like that, but please stop me, because purpose is, I really wanted to help you understand as much as possible. But if you think you don't understand it, please stop. One question here in this audience, so your audience there, somebody heard about wood shock? Wood shock, no? Maybe Yoshito-san, wood shock, maybe in the Estonian terms, it's a wood shock? No.
It's only Japanese word.
Only Japanese word. Okay. Wood shock is actually during the COVID, a lot of people staying in the home. Home is very small. I need to do something. So make a home bigger. Also, just before, probably because of the COVID as well, the China and the States, they start conflicting. Like Chinese, they try to sell more stuff, but America said, no, we don't want to do the, did you remember the President Trump and then Xi Jinping, they start something. Because of this, the pipeline is really distracted. So goods between China to the States nearly like slow down. What is happening is, if there is no goods coming from China to States, the company, ship company, they cannot use many container. Right? Container is actually, life of the container is 5 years. So use it, you need to make it. But if there's not no demand, the container company, they don't create many container. As a result of that, there is a lack of container. Okay, between China and States, okay, because they are powerful company. If States, because as I told you that the American people, they would like to make a more bigger house, they want to get more timber or something, they have a very powerful. So that even if the number of the containers reduced, they have a power of money, so they keep it. But the other country like Japan, when we get the timber, how are we going to do it? We Japanese sell totally different things to the Europe. Okay, for example, like a car, or like I don't know, white goods. Okay, but those containers cannot return back free. So instead of return back the container free, we use this container to put a lot of timber and then coming back. That was before, but because of the lack of the container, we don't have any wood coming. Of course, it's coming, but frequency of the distributions really reduced. Because of this, the Japanese timber price really sort of surged, really expensive. Okay, Japan, we have about 68% of our land is wood. Okay, we call it the forest ratio is the second. Number one is Finland. But Japan is also many, many woods. But the problem is, nearly about 50 years ago, most of the Japanese house made of the Japanese domestic wood. But European wood become more cheaper. And then wood trader, they say, okay, the Japanese wood is expensive. Let's buy the foreign wood. Okay. As a result of this, the forest industry, the people is going to sort of lose the job. Not many mechanizations. As a result of that, Japanese wood utilization sharply went down. So even if you have many wood, many forests, we don't have many utilizations. And also, here I think a relative flat land, isn't it? To cut the wood relatively easy. But in Japan, very narrow road, very steep mountain, very, very difficult to use a big truck. So if the modernization's not happening, it is very difficult. As a result of that, even if right now wood price is so high, we cannot do something. We cannot do anything. So we are just stuck. Okay. So, you know, in terms of the price, very, very high, and not many would come in because of the container. Does it wrong? When I discussed with several companies, wood company, also like the construction company, because because we are industry organizations, we can speak with all construction company in Japan because they are all our members, and they ask, you know, wood shock, it will go down, but the price does not go down quickly, slightly going down. So I think maybe, you know, you can have a chance because now container is building right now. So in the future, many container, the Japanese, they like to have more wood. Okay. Now, what sort of wood we need to have it? There is a wood, how can I say, softwood, hardwood, and then Japan is, in terms of the temperature, -20, sometimes 40. It's a really high range. So wood need to be special, how can I say, treatment is very important, because if you're going to use the chassis, maybe some chassis is going to sort of extend it, shrink, you know, such kind of thing. We need to also think about the humidity, about 60 to 80%. Very, very wet. Okay, but anyway, in between you and then Japan, there is a lot of experts. So those people can tell you, you need to do it. Could you do it? The specifications like that. It's better to ship right now because it takes 15 days, or, you know, such kind of things there. So that's the reason why, as I told you, if you want, I have a list of the company. You can contact by themselves, but I guarantee you fail. Okay. Because they said, oh, could you do this? And then, what is this guy talking like this? Because, you know, the Japanese system is so different. That's the reason why internal sort of in-between person is very important. Okay. I go right now then, geographical situation right now. Chelsea, if you cannot see, just let me know, okay? So Japan is a tiny little country there, okay? But I think that is not the failure of this map. The person who made it, actually, the European persons in Japan, they put it far away. Reality is, okay, this is Europe, okay? I'm going to put the Japan where it is. Japan is that big, quite big. Okay, now Estonia, Japan. Okay, Estonia is a very powerful company, but sorry, you're very small. Okay, now you cannot really see it, but I'm going to just move this one here. Okay, all right. In terms of the populations, I put it the top population land area. Japan is actually Estonia is 1% of Japan in terms of population. Land area, Estonia is 12% of Japan. GDP and so on, I put it on the table. Estonia GDP is 0.5% of Japan. But importantly, the GDP per capita is very important. You are about half of us. Okay. Average age is very important. It's not really far. Our average age is 48.4. You are also, in terms of the ranking, is the 28th position, 42.4. So age group average is not far, but if you have a look at the life expectancy is actually last one. Life expectancy means how long the Japanese people live. No, that's not. We don't count somebody like this staying in the bed. We don't count. Only the people who can walk and then think, sort of, how can I say, active populations, age the population. We are actually the second positions. I cannot remember first one. Dr. Morita, Spain? Spain is the first one, okay. Unfortunately, average age between Japan and Estonia is nearly the same, but your expectancy is not good. I do not know. And Dr. Morisato yesterday, he went to the supermarket, and then we are surprised. Many Rika, you are here. Maybe so you, I think you drank too much, I think. But what I wanted to tell you is here, the Japan, they really health conscious. They really want to make it comfortable. Wood is very, very important for us because sauna is also very important. Now, Japan also getting a lot of sauna. But before, we had a wooden bath, okay, wooden bath. So nearly the same thing. So there is also possibility of wood product as well.
So can I add one thing?
Yes.
So the easiest way to imagine the size of Japan and living condition to compare with the United States. So you have the United States 326 million, and Japan is 126 million. The state of Japan is about the size of California. So 1/3 of the U.S. 1/3 of the U.S. population goes all to California, and 75% of the Japanese islands are mountains. So the flatlands is only 25%. You take 25% of California and put the 1/3 of the U.S. population in there. That's the sort of image of densely populated living condition. Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you. So the nutshell about geography, okay? There is a lot of bullet points, but the key you need to remember is that Japan, 68% of the land is covered by the wood, the second highest forest among the advanced countries, okay? Advanced country, yeah? So we don't include the developing country. Another one is 93.5% of the population is urban. So Kanto area, they're living there, okay? And in terms of the wood, the temperature, the variance of the temperature of the north area, when it's a cold, -15, I think here's sometimes -25 or more, but anyway, -15. And then hot area, the summer area on the summertime is +40, humidity 80. So such kind of sort of quite harsh environment, customer really required a lot of treatment. Okay, now, I would like to go for, in order to sort of make it more interesting, I will go to, instead of talking a lot of peripheral, I go to sharply into the, not really conclusion, but the key point I'm going to go for it. First one is new trend. Yep. Okay, the business. This is actually the this is actually the complicated distribution channel in Japan. You are here, number, or some company make like a product such as a sauna, like a pod sauna, or some product that's also possible. But if you starting from lumber or timber company, they're going to go to the cheap sawmill factory in Japan, and then afterwards either go directly to the paper production company, and then after that they can go to the paper card. If another one is coming from here, they go into the sawmill in Japan, and then they go to another intermediary company who could make it. So lot of complicated, how can I say, distribution channel. By the way, Yoshito-san, such kind of document later on, audience can get it or not?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, so please do not worry. Nah? Okay, so this one. Such kind of complicated things, I don't know whether Estonia is also the same thing. It's familiar with you or not? Oh, okay. So nothing surprising to you. For example, like, sorry, you are living at about 150 kilometers away. No? You are a timber company, and distribution is the same in Estonia. Quite. Good. And then in Estonia, do you use like a mediating agency or something between you and how can I say the carpenter company or construction company?
Yeah, like so.
Okay, good. Okay, but that is not your own. That is not your part of your company. Totally different, independent. Okay, good. Then it's not really complicated. Then the same thing, Japan, you need to do it, but different is they are not Estonian, they are Japanese, and their way of thinking is different, and environment is totally different. Okay, so that's is a key point. Now, I go for the success model actually. Here is a success model, and then today we bring the Mr. Success. Mr. Kurahashi, I think you living here more 20 years, more than 20 years, but he still looks like Japanese, but he's nearly Estonian. His spouse is made in Estonia, so he knows 100% well about Estonia. At the same time, I checked it. He's really Japanese. I spoke with the Japanese, and he has a lot of contact in Japan. This is actually what he does for the business. Okay, maybe Mr. Kurahashi, if you could explain your business.
Yeah.
これをちょっと時々どかさないと見えない。
Good morning. My name is Ryosuke Kurahashi, living in Estonia for 20 years. Yeah, quite long. Actually, my profession, not business, before it's music, actually. So, quite difficult. My position, what kind of person, what kind, my company, what kind of company. It's my company is more, it's more flexible. Mainly I sell and export to Japan from Estonia, building materials. For example, some wood and also to making window, wooden window. And now also sauna materials also we sell now. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, usually I speak in Estonian. It's quite difficult to speak English. I think more easy to speak Estonian. But yeah. Tegelikult ma juba kogu aeg ma räägin eesti keeles sellepärast on natuke keeruline seda kohe ei tule sõnad, õige sõnad. Võib-olla eesti keeles on lihtsam mulle praegu. Mina tegelikult enne tootasin üks firmas, me müüsime saimatit Eestist ja Soomest. Ja siis pärast ma tootasin teise firma ka. Ja siis Viking Window müügijuht helistas mulle, et meil on selline probleem, et me müüme seda puitakent Jaapanisse, aga väga raske, et seda Jaapani klientiga rääkida. Ja siis ta andis palju visiitkaarte mulle, siis ma helistasin kõigi klientidele, kes huvitatud osta Eesti puitakent. Ja siis tükk aega ma mõtlesin, mis probleem, miks ei lähe Eesti seda puiduakent toodeti ilusti Jaapanisse. Ja muidugi seda enne, mul üldse ei olnud kogemus. Ja siis ma rääkisin Jaapani arhitekt, Jaapani ehitusfirma ja samuti seda Jaapani puiduakent tootefirma ka. Ja siis nemad ütles, no nii ei saa nagu Euroopast standard puiduakent otse Jaapani turule väga raske müüa. sest Jaapanis on oma reegel, oma sertifikaat ja nii. Ja siis alguses ma mõtlesin, et see võib-olla parkmaja on lihtsam paigaldada seda Euroopa, see on juba Euroopa stiil, siis et sobib selle Euroopa standardu seda puitakene saab panna. Aga praegu ütles Jaapani parkmaja edasi müüa. Meil on selline asi, no park on nii kallimaks ja Euroopa toote nii kallimaks ja me alustasime osta Hiinast. Ja siis parkmaja firmad ei huvita enam seda kvaliteetu Euroopa puitakent. Ja nemad ostatakse seda odava, no samasugune variant, samasugune, et klient ei näe seda kui suur vahet Euroopa hinnad. Ja siis, et nemad lihtsalt ostavad odava puitakent. Okei, selge. Ja siis ma sain aru, et selle sektorit seda ei ole võimalik müüa seda Euroopa hea puitakent. Ja siis ma vahetasin seda fookus ja siis ma rääkisin palju Jaapani arhitektiga ja ongi see Jaapani arhitekt, hea arhitekt, tahab ka kvaliteet hea puitakent ja väga seda peaks hoida soojustust ka tegelikult, seda energiakohet varja, see ei ole hea. Rohkem nagu seda kulu vaja, seda energia, elektri ja seda küttimise kulu. Ja sellepärast on väga hea selline Eestis selline hea kvaliteetne puitaken olemas. Ja siis ma alustasin seda mituse arhitektiga otse, siis nemad pani seda juba kohe seda projektisse, seda Viking Window, seda Eesti puitakena firma nime. Siis ehitusfirma, selline seda firma, sellised joonis juba olemas. Ja siis nemad alustatakse osta seda Viking Window, seda puitaken. Sest arhitekt ja ehitusfirma, muidugi seda nemad koostöö. Aga tavaliselt arhitekto ei ole nii palju suuruse õigus konkreetselt see firma puitaken peaks olema. Muidugi projekt saab kirjutada, aga ikka seda ehitusfirma, ma arvan Eestis ka samamoodi, ikka küsitakse teise firmale ka samasugune, kes on kõige odavam. Aga tavaliselt seda arhitekto joonistas konkreetselt detail ja siis muidugi iga firma oma profiil ja siis juba Viking Window profiil juba seda projekti sees, siis ehitusfirma seda ei taha uuesti muuta profiilit. Sellepärast seda väga tahtis arhitektiga koostöö ja arhitektile antakse seda konkreetselt selle firma profiil ja siis enam see ehitusfirma ei taha muuta projekti. Ja siis loomulikult seda ehitusfirma võtta seda Viking Window toodet, siis et nemad helistavad mulle, siis ma räägin Viking sellise toode on vaja Eestist ja Jaapanisse, siis me saame. Tegelikult see teise firmaga samamoodi alustatakse projekt algusest ja siis lõpp. Näiteks see aasta praegu ehitatakse Jaapanis suur kuidas see eramaja. See on suur mitu korruselt. See on tegelikult see kõik on seda meie toodet, mida seda saadetakse Eestist Jaapanisse. Tegelikult seda praegu me saadame seda puitaken. See projekt alustas 2016 või 15. Juba 4-5 aastat ja siis nüüd saadetakse toodet. Sellepärast Jaapanis on muidugi see ei ole lihtne ja protsess nii pikk, aga siis natuke peaks kannatama. kuni õnnestub. Sellepärast ma ei ütle seda kohe, no kohe müüme või teeme lepingu järgmine nädal, järgmine kuu. Nii ei käi teid. Sellepärast see projekt, kui loomulikult, kui projekt on suur, ikka pikk protsess. Aga seda viimane hetkel nemad enam ei vaheta selline firma, mida Eestist saadetakse seda toodet. Sellepärast on pikk protsess, aga kindel. See on tegelikult Jaapani turul väga tähtis. Näiteks praegu seda foto olemas, seda kõik fassaadi, see on termopuit, see termori AS oma tegelikult. Praegu väga populaarne termori toodet. Praegu rohkem me müüme seda Hokkaido Põhja-Jaapanisse ja see vasakul seda arvamine, see puit, selline termopuit ja aken ongi seda veekimüünda. Sellepärast ma müün seda mõlemat ja saadetakse konteneriga koos Jaapanisse ja paigaldatakse. Ja praegu keskel see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 korrusel seda suur maja. See fassaad kõik on seda termori. See ka praegu asub Tokyos ja väga populaarne. Kas muud on話してみてください。
地震のことを話したい。
地震のこと。地震。いや、tegelikult termopuituga niisama nemad ei võta Jaapani kliente, sest seal seda palju looduskatastrof, maavari ja seda taifuun, see tugev vihma, niiske, seepärast nemad alati üritatakse, kas see puit kannatab selline kliima ja kliimaga. Ja kui fassaadi pannakse seina peale, kas ei kuku pahe nagu inimesed. Sellepärast see ka nii palju dokumente vaja tegelikult. Aga muidugi seda mina ei tee. Aga mina alati küsin seda Jaapani poolt seda spetsialist. Mina olen selline nagu inimesed seda otsitakse spetsialist ja ma võtan kontakt ja selline projekt käib, aga see on võimalik aidata. Ja siis nagu mina rohkem nagu koostöö. Võib-olla mina ei ole vaja või otse saab müüma, see lihtsalt. Aga seda kulub päris palju aega. Sellepärast ma aitan kogu aeg seda, kuidas infot ja seda, kuidas seda töö ilusti jookseb edasi. Siis sauna koht. Tegelikult siin päris palju sauna tootefirma ma tunnen. Sauna on väga populaarne Jaapanis praegu ja ma arvan, varsti meeletu tuleb Jaapanist. Aga seda Jaapanis on tegelikult sauna kultuurid eriti ei ole. Ainult seda tervisekeskus, selline keskus inimese läheb siin. Aga nüüd pärast koroona inimesed ei taha võõras inimestega koos istuda ja ikka vaja kodus selline nagu isiklik sauna on vaja. Muidugi seda Jaapani üks probleem on see, enamus nägi selline nagu seda sidekohta eriti ei ole. Ja inimesed elavad nii kitsas kohas ja maa on nii kallis. Sellepärast on väga raske panna selline nagu puit tehtud nagu selline saunamaja ehitada niisama. Ja korteri ka seda ei ole mõelnud nagu sauna jaoks. Sellise rüümit ei ole. Sellepärast on alguses väga raske seda leia, seda klient. Aga alati on mingi lahendus. Ja võib-olla seda maa inimesed Põhja-Jaapanist, et tegelikult rohkem maa olemas, inimesed on vähem. Võib-olla seal võib-olla rohkem võimalus. Aga veel üks probleem. Saunas on seda elektrit ja puitkees, see erinev. ja puidukeeles võib olla lihtsam, sest see lihtsalt küttepuu on siis ja piisav ruum, siis saab kasutada. Aga elektrikeeles see täiesti seda sertifikaati vaja kohaliku jaoks. Ja sellepärast mina alati seda elektriasi on väga probleem ja ma rääkisin mitu seda saunakeelusfirmaga mingi lahendus, kuidas katta seda sertifikaati või kasutada, kuidas seda või kasutada nagu Aasias, sest Aasia on 100 volt, mitte 200 volt. See ja sellepärast see natuke süsteem natuke muutuma ja sertifikaati jaoks ka tegelikult mitu kulu raha vaja, tegelikult saadetakse seda konkreetses keeles ja Jaapanis saadetakse ja instituut seda uuritakse, kas toota või ilusti, kas midagi ei põle, seda inimesele ei ole ohutud ja ohtlik ei ole. Sellepärast natuke seda võtta aeg. Aga mina juba hakkasin projekt ja pärast ma loodan saada kätte seda sertifikaat elektrisauna keeles jaoks. Ja siis ma arvan rohkem, et lihtsam müüma seda Jaapanist seda sauna toole. Nii, suur tänu. Aitäh, aitäh. Thank you.
Aitäh, Mr. Okay. So I think we're going to have quite soon a break. Okay. So we're going to have a break like 11:05 or 11:10. 11:10. Okay. So far, just to check it right now. So we're talking about our Japanese sort of background of economy, and then also very roughly talking about the wood shop. Also, we talk about the possibility of the wood. Later part, also a success model as well. Later part, I'm going to show you the what we recognize, what is happening about the wood product, because as I told you that we have big exhibitions, and in that exhibitions, most of the Japanese wood company, construction company expose. At the same time, most of the Japanese buyer, they are there. So it's very easy to check who was the seller, who was the buyer. So I'm going to summarize. We call it the hotel catering show, and then another one is the home building show. Actually, the Chelsea, she is the expert about this. So if you want to have a specific questions, you can ask. But anyway, she already told me a lot of things, so I can tell you. Okay, so that if there, maybe you understand. Okay, this is very close to my company, so I can go ahead. Oh, not really. This not really my job, you know. So maybe you can compare. Also, we have checked what sort of Estonian companies doing business in Japan. Not only just a success story of a crisis, and there is another Estonian company doing business. So I'm going to also show you. And then last, I give you the list of the company. Okay, but as I told you, if you want, you can call them, no problem. If you are successful, that is my job. But I guarantee you fail. So it's better to come with it. How can I say? In Japanese, we call it, if you want to go to that place, it's better to do it like a deviate. You know, as a result, it's much quicker. How can I say? In terms of the money. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead with another presentation. By the way, later on, you're going to have you can get that, but it's about 300 document there. 300, but I only selected the good one. But later on, if you wanted to check it, I think it's quite a good document, to be honest with you. Right. Okay. So I will do the repeat of the 2 times. Estonian company. Okay. First one, I'm going to show you the Estonian company. What the Estonian company doing in Japan. All right. Okay, those are the company who are dealing with the Estonian wood and then product. Okay, I'm going to give this one to you. Okay, And then I already spoke with them. Some company are very, very kind. Someone is very, how can I say, very, very busy. But anyway, they are all sort of waiting if you want to get the call. Okay, so there is a web as well. There is a Hokkaido, all the addresses as well. Also, business. What sort of business are they doing? Okay. This is just the first page. Second page. This is actually a successful company. Mr. Kurahashi's company is called Terucci. Terucci is the Italian word, isn't it? Terucci. Terucci, not the Estonian word. I do not know why you make it an Italian word anyway. And then also online trader. Maybe you like it because the Estonian people you do very, very good at online. So it's also an online company as well. Amazon, you know it, Amazon, no? Amazon also doing a business. This one, Alibaba, Mr. Jack Ma, he was caught by the Xi Jinping, but anyway, Alibaba is doing business with Japan. Also, Totono. Totono is actually Mr. Yoshito explained. Mr. Alex Saito, I think he's a hybrid, I think, possibly hybrid. He is going to come maybe in a few seconds, and then he's going to tell his company. Okay, so those are the list of the company who are doing a business.
Just one question about doing some research about Japanese companies. There are many websites. You go to the website, usually it's Japanese.
English as well. There is an English column. Yeah. Yeah.
However, it was very difficult to find an email address. There is almost no email address. There is just a phone. If you want to contact them and send an email, it's impossible. It's very difficult. So you need to make a phone
Okay.
and then they will speak English.
Okay. I see.
Okay.
I understand it.
So there's a question from that audience that usually when, okay, so when we check that the website in Japanese companies, it's hard to find the contact email address, or even if you find it, they don't speak English. Yeah. So
I understand it. Yeah.
Mostly there is no email address.
I see. I see.
Very, very simple.
I see. Okay. I need to check it, but what I did it from here, of course, I need to do it with a website, and then afterwards I go into the contact. For the contact, and then normally www or something, and then I instead of doing after www, I put the info, and then after, and then body of the email. Sometimes they don't put probably right, but info that is going to go automatically.
but in general, I would like to add that in Japan, companies, they don't put salesperson's name or picture at all, because it's kind of privacy.
Okay.
And then they don't never put the direct email address of the salesperson.
I understand it.
Unless it's really small companies. And then also for that company side, they don't want to receive a lot of spam mail. So they don't put the general email address quite often. But still, I see many companies like putting the email address, but still, instead of that putting the email address, they put the contact form. So you have to put a lot of information, then you can ask questions. This type question form is possible, but if you write it in English, they think it's spam. Yes.
Okay. Chelsea, we need to remember. Okay.
Yeah. Think about that. Yeah, like for Estonian company,
Yes.
if you receive the email from
Yes.
Chinese, in Chinese letter.
Okay.
You know?
Good. And I just do it about the trade for. Okay. This is actually the summary what we check it about the Estonian company who currently doing a business. Okay, just reading up. At present, there are no importer, woodworking manufacturer, or distributors specialized only dealing with the Estonian wood. Of course, the company who doing Estonian wood, the Finnish wood, the Canadian, but only Estonian in our database doesn't coming up. But having I said that, maybe there's some companies doing business because of any Japanese company there. But anyway, there is no visible specialized for these. Estonian timber is being traded by those who specialize in Estonian timber or who imports foreign woods and then woodworking widely from various countries. So no specialized. One of the recent leisure boom in Japan is outdoor activity, such as a glamping. You know it? Glamping. Glamping is actually combined word of glamorous camping, glamping. Okay, and the log house become popular along with the outdoor activity. The major e-commerce merchant, Amazon and Alibaba, are selling log house, though they are online in Japanese market. So they're doing online. Okay, so later on, I'm going to show the product of the Rakuten as well, and probably Totono, Mr. Saito can also tell it. As for the building materials of log house, the Canadian and Finnish material are common as external material, but marketers have begun to look at Estonian wood with a focus on durability and then price advantage. I do not know because I'm not expert of the material as a wood, but we think that it's quite durable. Do you think Estonian wood is durable? You agree, no? Compared to the Finnish wood, or I don't know. Anyway, we think like this. Okay, Alibaba's online service for the Japanese market also feature woodworking toys made from Estonian wood. So they're also selling some small toys as well. The sale of the sauna using Estonian material in Japan is currently not noticeable, except for online market for Japan by Estonian sauna manufacturer agent. I think this is actually it's not me to check it. There is an expert that check it, reported to me. I also did the only interview. The negative side of the concerning the log house and the barrel sauna in particular is the limited land space of the individual house in Japan. For that, those products may have a better perspective in rural or suburban residency area or leisure sport. What I want to say is that in Japan, our garden is very, very small. So, we cannot put a log house or like a sort of a pod sauna in our garden. So therefore, if you want to sell it, or if you want to deal with such kind of company, those companies should link with a sports facility, like a golf course or like a owner of the big glamping land. Otherwise, it's very difficult. That's we recognize it. Okay, so that's about the Estonian wood companies situation for the moment. And then after you come back from the break, I'm going to tell you a key how to go into the Japan. And then we go to sort of question and answer. And then Mr. Saito is also joined. I think that's like it. So how many minutes do we going to have a break?
We have a 10 minutes break. But do you have any questions at the moment before we have a break? So from the Zoom audience, if you have any question, there's a question. Okay, should Estonian wood house be sold together with design to get to the best solution, or would Japanese people prefer their own design?
Okay, very good question. I have answer for that. Yeah,
Please.
Yes. I do not know. You are Mr. Woman. Probably okay. I'm going to answer your questions. Actually, I had an interview with several construction companies, R&D persons, and then also the designer. They said that why don't you make an Estonian house, which is similar to the Finnish Sweden house or something. And they said that the problem of the Sweden house is based on the modular construction. In other words, first one is that they have a wall. Wall is very important. Based on the wall, they're going to make a land. They're going to make a house. What is happening is that they are too standardized. In other words, you need to have a specific shape of the land which adapt the Swedish house. That is more or less like that. And then what the constructions designer, it's a very, very big companies. We spoke with Toda, Kashima, and then Takenaka. That's all our members. And they said, okay, we're going to suggest you the Estonian house if you can do it the following. Your design flexibility is so flexible, even in the Tokyo, you can make a Estonian house made of the Estonian wood. What does it mean by this? The design is so flexible, even at the sort of L-shaped land, you can make a construction. Even like a very long, very narrow land, you can make it. Even for the sort of quite high, you can have a quite high constructions, you can make it. Such kind of a freedom, if you can do it, then Estonia house itself can add value compared to the Swedish house, because for the moment, Swedish house is a very, very standardized. That's the key. So what they want to say is that the you hear what the Japanese consumer or carpenter wants to construct, and then you are the task of making a sort of design. That is the answer. I hope my answer really, how can I say, responded to your question. I hope. If not, please chat it again. Okay, Mr. Michael.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, like one point that I recently I was checking the log house because I want to build one for myself. I mean, I'm not building myself, but you know, I want to ask the company to do it. Then I checked the Japanese website as well. They usually sell the standard like the kit, so it's difficult to change a little bit. So there's a kit, it's standardized. If you buy or not, like there's several types you can choose. But if you want to, like, you know, have a tailor-made log house, then there's no solution from the foreign, like Finnish or Swedish log house producers at the moment. Yeah. Okay, so we will have a 10 minutes break. So we'll come up here 11:20. All right.
Chelsea, take a break, okay?
Okay, so now everyone is back. So we will start again. We'll continue as Mr. Masaki.
僕、座った方がいいです
あ、大丈夫ですよ。大丈夫です。はい。これが僕でしたっけ？これが
これが僕なんです。
ですね。そうですね。わかりました。OK、OK、OK、OK、OK、OK、OK。Right. Then we already talking about the Japanese economy, and then also we talk about we talk about what the Estonian company, the Japanese company who deal with the Estonian wood in Japan, what they're doing, what sort of name of the company. I'm going to give you all the list of the company later on. And then I already introduced the success Estonian Japanese company. So if you want to speak with him, I also give you the name card as well. And then from now on, I'm going to show you what we recognize during the show. As I told you, the show is very important because the buyer is there, suppliers there, not only certain country, but also the Canada, Finland, for the moment, Canada, Finland, France, and then Korea, also the Chinese, they are there. But the buyers are really all Asian locations, okay? Also, during the coffee time, I understand, I don't know who said this, that somebody from the Ministry of Economy, he said, Menasir. That guy's from the Ministry of Economy or Ministry of the Forest? You don't know, okay? Or maybe there's some consultant, maybe. Yeah, yeah. Okay. No problem, because you know we are from actually behind us is the government. Really, we want to make it open. Okay, of course there is regulations, but you know the regulations don't come. That's our old story. We're going to help you. Okay, there is a regulation in Europe as well. To be honest with you, European regulation is really awful. Nobody help. Do you know the reason why? Europe, 27 countries, nobody coordinate, because I'm sitting in Brussels, okay? But the Japan is only one country, you know? You have a lot of intermediate persons. Thing is, nutshell, okay? There is no sort of direct regulations to stop trade. That's the old story. Before we had the protections. Right now, most of the regulations related to the safety, okay? And the quality is actually, there is a quality as well, but the quality is different. It's not the regulations. Japanese consumer, if it's not the quality, even if it's past the regulation, nobody buy it. Okay, so the safety is very important in terms of regulations. But the quality type of regulation, forget about it. Customer is going to tell. Okay, so that is much more harder. But I'm sure that the because yesterday we did like street watching, and your food product is really excellent. Design is very good. Also, we checked the little bit of the wood, quite good. Yeah. So I think you should sort of how can I say, confident about yourself. I think, right? So I'm going to continue. Chelsea, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Right. Then Chelsea, I'm going to show the hotel catering show and then also the building show. Okay.
All right.
Right. All right. As I told you, why I'm going to show you the hotel business, hotel and the restaurant show, and then building show. Okay. So the first 2 minutes, bear with me. All right. Hotel and then catering show is not only just the hotel service, also the hotel system. This is actually what sort of material you need to use it to construct the hotel. What sort of atmosphere you need to create for the restaurant. Okay, so the wood is very important, one of the materials. Okay, so that's the reason why you see many wood-related company there as well. It is quite long. For example, like what sort of people there? Visitors, construction planner, designer, architect, equipment planning persons, furniture, and then also tableware. Such kind of people are there. Right? This is just I'm going to cut it off. It's right in the center. Also cut it in. How many people are there? Actually, this one is happened 2020, just started the COVID period, and then still vaccination was not there. So unfortunately, only 22,000 people there. Normally, it is double, close to the 50,000. As I told you, sorry, not at all. Our show is not for the kids, not for the sort of non-business person, only for the business person. So 50,000 people from Japan, professional, it's a quite efficient show, that's I tell you. Okay, industry-wise, local government, because local government is quite important to make a project, making some house, you know. Also interior construction company people there, department store, interior shop, all sorts of people related to the architect are there. Okay, just do it very quickly. This is actually 2019 show. You know, 40,000 people are there, so it's really double. Okay, and you know, this is about the interview about the visitors. Okay. New customer, a lot of new customer comes, and then also what are you purpose of the visit? I would like to see the new product. You know, so imagine if a Estonian company go there with a flag together with the Estonian pavilions, everybody, I guarantee they will come because they are a little bit, how can I say, get used to the Canadian. Canadian would finish with very good presentations. But if you're going to have an Estonian flag, guarantee they will come. Okay, okay, that's it. And then what we saw there, oh, sorry. What we saw there is this one here, okay? Of course, this is combination of the hotel show and then building show. Related to the wood area, I picked it out. This is already how they presented it. This one is actually here is the Japanese traditional bath, right? This wood is also not the Estonian wood because it's not yet there, but it's a confined wood, so that the soft wood, all right? I think the same wood, you can use it for the sauna. I think, sorry, I forgot your gentleman, your name. You are the sauna.
Yeah.
Your first name is? Adi. Yeah, Adi. I think it's so. All right. And then there is a Canadian house. They're making it. So not only just a sort of a bath, but also the flooring wood that they utilize for the constructions. Most of them is actually the softwood. I asked one of the architects of the big company that, do you know the softwood is the soft? Can I use it for the column? And I said, of course. If it's a hardwood, the hardwood is like this. How can you make it the column? So softwood is very straight, very easy to cut it. Why they call it a softwood? But anyway, softwood is actually not soft, they said. Okay. Like walls. All right. Lots of things they presented like that. And then also the furniture, in terms of furniture, of course, some of that is definitely that's hardwood, but softwood chairs, they are there as well. And yesterday, when we strolled around the town together with Dr. Morisato, we saw nearly the same sort of a tray. And then it said that Estonian wood, wasn't it?
It was the Estonian woods from Estonian master. So it was the craftsmanship of Estonian craftsmen and was woodware, but it's much more naturalistic than industrialized like that.
Yeah, that was one of the shop at the old town, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of things, and then I'm going to go for that.
Yeah, it attracts the Japanese attention because Japanese people are used to this sort of like wooden architecture in a product. So when you see the wooden spoon, like we get excited about like, what is this? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is actually the bath. Some of that is for the hotel, small business type of bath. Another one is more large, sort of a super type. How can I say? Leisure hotel type of the bath, but it's all wood. Okay, maybe the Dr. Moritasu can explain why Japanese like wood.
Several different reasons. I mean, that if you make it stone in the summer, it gets too hot. Japanese weather becomes incredibly hot, and in the winter, it gets extremely cold. So, for the comfort's sake, I think they prefer wood in general. Yeah, but traditionally, from medieval times, all the bath pictures is like dark wooden houses.
Yeah. And this one is actually, we call it the rotenburo. Rotenburo, maybe Kurashi-san can explain it better than that, but some area, we have a bath outside, okay? And then most of them, they are using a rock, but this case is actually the rotenburo with the wood. And there is a flooring is also wood, the same sort of wood they can use it. And then why not we can use the Estonian wood? Okay, sorry, another one. This one is actually the Japanese, very, very Japanese traditional inn, not the hotel, inn, okay? You see it, the Muji Hotel. This Muji is actually the brand, call it the Muji. Muji is actually literally translated as a non-brand, but that's they have a brand of the Muji. There's all wood, wooden building house, hotel. And then other areas, all the traditional inn, all wood. Okay, and they're all softwood, right? And this one is actually external material, building materials such as the chassis, also the sliding doors, also the external wall, okay, lot of things. And the amount of exhibitions related to the wood is really increasing year by year. But we did not recognize the Estonian pavilion yet, okay? But as I told you, if you want to directly do the business, go ahead. I give you the list, but I tell you, you fail. Okay. All right, this one, the sauna aunt, okay? This is a little bit different from your sauna is not pod sauna, it's called it, sorry, excuse me. What was your name, the product? Aunt. Egg. That was also quite very nice design. But the Japanese one is a very luxurious sauna you're doing it. You see, normally you can see it at the golf course, resort type of things. You know, the right-hand side, I did not know that this is a sauna, but actually it's a sauna. But this one, very expensive, but the Japanese like it. Quality is very important. Of course, they passed the standard of the quality, but the customer decided it. Is that really, really good or not? In terms of assembly, there is no sort of, how can I say, slit, because the assembly is very good. You know, at the same time, air ventilation is perfect. You know, yes.
They are made in Japan or they are
made in Japan? Yeah. But of course, there is somebody like Mr. Kurahashi communicating what sort of a standard you need. This is beyond the regulations, you know, isn't it? I think. Yeah. Okay. And but of course, your task is the, how can I say, you really cut it right shape. Also, the due date is very important, you know, as you see it. But when you get the wood, after that, the construction company do it the really, how can I say, the minuted way. You know, the planning is very important. Okay. And then here is actually, I told you the glamping, you know, you also make the glamping, you know, in your, that was your hobby, I think. You made it the glamping. Ah, okay. But you know, there's a lot of glampings there, glamorous camping, all right? So that's also the exhibition as well. So what I want to suggest to you is that, you know, together with your wife, you come to Japan and then see the show. And then if you come to the show, I think, Chelsea, are you listening?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe, you know, if some guests come, we can bring them to the show, and then they can see what is the potential, you know. Maybe we can help like that, no, Chelsea?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Chelsea is a very charming lady, so no problem. And then she speaks perfect English. Also, she speaks Chinese as well, you know. So you come, and then you can make a contact with them. And then if you think it's a very good, then next year, together with Enterprise Estonia, you present your product, you know. That's a way to do it. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I attended the one of 2019.
Okay. You attended it.
There are many exhibitors, lots of people attending, but you really need to speak the pace or go with Simura who make the translation, because you speak English to them directly.
Chelsea, did you hear the question? Chelsea?
Not
Chelsea?
really, sorry. Not
No,
really.
already. Okay. The gentleman, sorry, your name is, first name? Mr. Vea. He went to the Japan in 2019, but unfortunately, the people who does not understand English, so therefore they need somebody who can communicate. Yeah. Okay, we can consider. Yeah.
Well,
Home and building show. Okay. So maybe we think about it. Okay. But before then, we need to get the list of the people who come to home building show, and then we can make a tour. Then
well,
it's okay.
Well, if people like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 5 people want to visit our show, then well, I don't know, we have to talk, but we can maybe hire some translator to help them.
Okay. Yeah. Or maybe I don't know, I cannot speak on behalf of the Estonian enterprise, but you know, we can make a tour, and then we can receive it, and it's quite easy. Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, that's possible too.
Yeah, very good question. Thank you. Other questions? Nothing. Okay. So those are the, how can I say, that from the show we recognize it. Okay. Then 15分ぐらいですね. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do the sort of conclusions because the time is limited. More conclusion. conclusion. Okay. I do a shortcut, the conclusions. The key point should be known to go into the Japan. Conclusion. Okay. A quick business development, entering the market with a final product or modular product such as a sauna or log house or facility for glamping is relatively easy. As I told you that, you have a product, you just send it and then just buy out there. Okay, that's the most easy. But you really need to know that the good quality and then safety. That's the key. Okay, safety side is regulation. Good quality is not the regulations, but the customer, they're very, 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 very quality concerned. Okay, and then the Japanese is even more worse. You are very polite. We are hypocrite. Okay, we big smile and then no bite because not good quality. Like a big smile. Okay? All of a sudden, they don't answer to you. Okay, that's I tell you. Second point, Estonia house commercialized with the design flexibility, unable to build in all sorts of land and in city with the satisfying the various customer that require. As I told you that answer, okay, Swedish house, Finnish house, they are modular standardized. You need to challenge more flexible wooden house, okay? And I know that the Estonian people are very flexible persons because of you're good at IT. So you can do it, you can beat the Finnish, okay? The next one, construction material sector, walls, flooring, in-house sauna or luxury private house, hotel, traditional Japanese in Asia, that there is a possibility because in the sauna business, big luxury hotel, they want to construct a very nice sauna inside of their hotel or like a leisure house. I cannot give you the number of the sauna in Japan, but it's a really mind-boggling, a lot. Also the number of the spa, sports center, lot. It's not a question of the 100, like more than 1,000. Okay, so there is a lot of opportunities, and then also there is a life. So every time they need to reconstruct. The last one is, in order to grasp the latest market trend from competitors and consumer reactions, visiting some shows. Okay, it's the most efficient way. That concludes my presentations. But later on, if you have questions, please come to us. Okay.
僕の発表の部分もフードプロダクトの方なんで、あ、そうなんです。アレクさんに。
あ、じゃあでも、
いや、内容ほぼフードなんで、
あ、そうですか。
アレクさん。
いいですか。もうちょっとなんか喋ってもらうんですね。
まあ、アレックスに話してもらって、その後で。
その後でも大丈夫です。
あ、そうです。はい。
あまり構わない。じゃあ、アレクさん。はい。
Okay, Chelsea, thank you very much. Now we will give the floor to the Mr. Alex Saito, who is selling the sauna, Estonian sauna in Japan. So because of the time was limited, so we skipped at Mr. Morisato's presentation. Okay. もう一回ね、スクリーン。これいいか。はい。
So, Terhamutus, everyone. Unfortunately, I don't speak Estonian, so let me go through in English. Again, I'm Kota Alex Saito from Japan, and currently this is 4th year in Estonia. I came here 2018 and used to work at Veebis, like Estonian startups. And now I also work for an IT company, both based in Japan and Estonia, but I also have the sauna business from 2020. And yeah, today I would like to share my brief overview of the sauna business in Japan from Estonia. Then yeah, I'm really looking forward to kind of the potential partnership with you all. So let me go through it. So this is my company overview. Like we just launched our company like 2020, the culture. And the basic idea is just bring Estonian saunas or Nordic saunas to Japan and have more saunas. And we started from the Estonian entity, but we realized like it's easier to have the Japanese entity, and that's why we have the like Japanese sauna. We have already some partnership with like Sauna Inter, the biggest wholesalers in here, yeah, and some companies, and also in Japan, and maybe we can talk about that. So everyone asked me, Alex, why do you do the sauna business? Why sauna? Then I've been here already for 3 years, and of course I enjoyed out the sauna here. Actually, one of the participants and virtual participants is one of my good friends, and he took me to the sauna for the first time in here, 2018. Then I realized, okay, the sauna quality in here in Estonia is, let's say, much better than one in Japan. Then that's the thing, like, because I just want to have my own sauna in Japan. That's kind of, my like biggest motivation in the beginning. Then actually I got this one. This is my sauna, like a bio sauna. There's a mountain behind, so obviously it's in Japan, not in Estonia. And yeah, we bought it in like in the beginning of this year. And yeah, as I told you, like it's meant for just for myself, like just for my private use. And I just put it at my summer house. Then that's the kind of the starting point. But and this is another one. This is the working project right now, like sauna cabin as well. This is also what I wanted. But yeah, actually the business started from one tweet. It's in Japanese, so I hope I hope you can understand. Like I just tweeted like hey, I just bought this sauna from Estonia. Then is there anyone who want to buy the same kind of stuff? Then got some like a positive feedback, like as I wrote it. Like there's some like 200 likes and 30 retweet on Twitter. So I understand like it's good, like it's marketing, and there's some positive feedback, and then I already got some direct mail, like hey, I want to have this one. How much is it? Like how long does it take to get on? Then I realized, okay, it's good to start the business regarding the sauna as a Japanese who based in Estonia. Then this tweet turned my life into more sauna site. Then maybe I should briefly like also explain like sauna environment in Japan. Then like this is like some temporary number from the Finnish like statistics, but in Estonia, as you understand, there's so many saunas. Obviously in the gym, in a private house, in the summer house, always saunas. But in Japan, in contrast, even we really love the spa culture, as Mr. Masaki explained. Like we really love the bath culture. Then we basically have like a sauna with bath, but the quality is not really good, and the number is not really enough. Then like that is happening. I sometimes need to be in line to get a sauna with a naked, and I'm waiting just 5 minutes because of the lack of sauna facility. And yeah, and there are so many like sauna entries in Japan. So yeah, this is the overview. I told you I understand like I should write in Estonian format later. But yeah, as I told you, like sauna environment in Japan, even it is getting so popular, like we still have so many like challenges around the like sauna experience. So I, as a Japanese corporation in Estonia, already experienced like that kind of the one of the best sauna experience in here. Then I always compare it like about Estonia and Japan. Of course, Japan has a good side, like their food quality in the spa is really nice. But in contrast, like I went through like this like some kind of the challenges. Like for example, in here you can wear the swimsuits, and you can go to your like a family to the spas. But in Japan, totally separated. So we never enjoy the sauna with your like a girlfriend or wife or whatever partners. Yeah, and actually, yeah, thanks to the COVID situation, basically we prohibit the coffee in the sauna. But even before the COVID, like there's some like a facility, like who don't prohibit to talk in the sauna, but we are basically like Just saying. And maybe I wrote it here. Yeah, like the style, like Japan, yeah, sauna from Finland to Japan was important around the 1960s. But yeah, they imported in the like a little bit different way. I don't want to say like wrong, but the saunas in Japan is really extremely dry because most of the facility prohibit the lake, so we cannot throw the water onto the rocks. That's also the problem. But thanks to the social medias and there are some like sauna related like program, drama, whatever. The 3 years, let's say from like 2018, like the sauna getting really popular, and that sauna means like a Finnish style sauna. So there are so many like people who really eager to visit Finland and Estonia to have the real experience of the saunas. And the sauna was meant for like let's say older guys like 40s, 60s, like a generation, like for the male, in like past like decades. And actually, when I was kids, I felt like the sauna is really extremely dry and it is really hard to stay like more than like 1 minute. And it's really like like older guys place, I felt. But now, like thanks to the social media and there are some like facilities who introduce like a real Finnish like a sauna style, then getting like the sauna in Tokyo or in Japan, getting like a, let's say, more knowledge. But there are some like facilities who are going to the like a really Japanese extremely dry sauna. So yeah, of course I respect, but I personally really like the Finnish style sauna or Estonian style like that. Then yeah, it's getting like big. So the number of the sauna users is also getting bigger. Yep. And yeah, we work since like we launched the company in February this year in Japan, and we already have some use case in the throughout. For example, this is one of the Japanese like ryokan. Ryokan is not the hotel, but really classic hotel, like a Japanese style hotel. And we put together with like Japanese food style and the Estonian style. So we imported the viral sauna, but we painted with like Japanese way, like as you can see. And yeah, there's some like stoves, and on the top right, there's some like gate with the Japanese style. So you can stay there and you can enjoy the sauna with like some Japanese in the Japanese atmosphere. Another one is really like a simple, but we are success to place the sauna in the spa. In Saitama, it's quite close to Tokyo, and they offer this sauna for the kind of for like they renting out this viral sauna some like fees per hour. Then you can enjoy the sauna, and they also do some kind of whisking session in the inside of the saunas. So they also put together Estonia like a sauna culture with like Japanese way. And one of the biggest surprise for us is this one. Yeah, as you can surprise him. Yeah, this guy is Mr. Fujimori. He's one of the famous comedian in Japan. Randomly contacted me. Hey, I want to have the viral sauna from Estonia. Then I said like, sure. Are you serious? Then actually he bought. We don't offer for free. He bought our viral sauna, and he has 1 million followers on the social media. I realize it's not so big difference in Estonian population. Then like he create some contents on YouTube, like this is how to create a viral sauna, this is how to enjoy the viral sauna, and he said like Estonia throughout the contents. Then of course that is really huge, massive PR opportunity for us. Like the video got like 455K views. And we have so many inquiries since like the video published. So yeah, like that, we had like a past 6 months, we have some kind of a use case in Japan, and we can Japanese really loves the use case in the local use case. So we focus on the like the single project, and focus on having the kind of the use case. Then actually those kind of we have like more than 20 saunas project by far, but those three are the kind of the remarkable one. Okay, yeah. some local newspapers. I don't touch it. And yeah, brief introduction. Maybe you might know him, Baruto, the famous small restaurant in Japan. Actually, one of the partner for the Pittsburgh group, the sauna Parasan producers. He introduced us. So yeah, he's also the big fan of the sauna. We visited like his place and got some like a video interview and talked a lot about the sauna. And he, is a good casual advisor for us of the sauna environment, and he also understands Japanese business opportunities. And yeah, this is the brief overview of what we have done. Maybe it can be used for you. Like for 6 months, first quarter, let's say, I was really struggling. As Masaki-san said, like, legal check was one of the most suffering for us, because I just want to have the sauna in Japan, but all the regulation, hey, no, you should go through this. And we always need to, check with a legal, like a lawyer and some advisors in the sauna businesses. Then that was the most, crucial part. Like, for example, electricity, Masaki-san told us, there's some safety regulation, so we need to check that. And the building regulation, and what was it, if it is meant for that spot, for the business, we also need to check through the regulation against the spot. And rest of them is just general stuff. But let's say showroom, as I told you, Japanese really love the use case. And I'm really, this is the kind of the logic later. I just want to have my sauna, and it turns into the showroom later. So we invited some people who are interested in find a sauna, then offer the kind of experience. Then of course, I'm really confident that the experience is, let's say, totally unique, excellent, compared with a general sauna in Japan. Then there are some clients who buy the sauna after that sauna experience. And of course, partnership, as I who are based in Estonia, of course, it's really easy to reach out. But for example, Baruto-san connected me with the sauna local producers. But sometimes I just write an email to directly to the businesses. So yeah, if you can find the right partner, the business goes really well. And this is also our lesson learned. As I told you, language differences that Mr. said, there's some language barrier between Japan and Estonia, or Japan and the rest of the world, unfortunately. And I think key is we should find the right partner who at least one person in the company are fluent in English. Otherwise, for example, I attend as an interpreter for a meeting between Japan and Estonia sometimes. Then I always, listen and speak, listen and speak. So that means meeting duration, meeting contents gonna be fixed 50% compared with in English. So that's why I prefer the working with without that interpreter. Of course it can work, but no more time. Cultural differences, I personally don't feel a huge a cultural gap between Japan and Estonia. But for example, maybe some of you experience business decision speed in Japan is a little bit slower because it's the company itself is big. So I sometimes recommend it depends on the situation. I sometimes recommend start to work together with SMEs. That's also easier. We can make a decision in 30 minutes. I just had a call with the management and decided like that. Actually, yes, we're Japanese, but I was so surprised in the beginning of my stay in Estonia. I just waited tram. I expect 10 minutes delay, but it came in the time. So I understand Estonia is basically punctual, but there's some slack gap. So there's some the trouble we encountered. But we decided to tell our client that the schedule with some buffers. If the Estonian company say end of September, we always say mid of October. Then we have some buffers. Then it's okay. quality assurance, that's also like our trouble right now in country. But we have some checklist. This is really like, small, small tasks, but we have like some checklist. We, have some checkpoint as well. Then we are now eager to, resolve this problem. Smooth communication, I didn't feel any inconvenience between Japan and Estonia, because I basically spent like most of the year in after 2021. I just came back to Estonia like in the beginning of the August. That means like last 7 months I was in Japan and have a communication with Estonian like partners in the really beginning of the business. And the last 2 weeks ago, I firstly met with a guy who were producing the biosauna. But it went well. So yeah, if the person are fluent in English, then Zoom and let's say Skype is always useful. I have no difficulties about it. Then this is pretty much my presentation. As I told you, we are really eager to expand our businesses in Japan. And for the first 6 months, I understand we had a good start. So we are really open for any partnership with, of course, producers and wood producers. That wood can be used for sauna, or we also, import some chuni sauna, hot bathtub to Japan as well, and the sauna related items. And yeah, I'm personally really huge fan of the sauna, so anyone can invite your own sauna, or we can go to the spa together and talk about. Yeah, this is my email address, so I'll open for any contact. That's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Do you have any question for Mr. Alex Saito? And then also in Zoom participants, if there are any question for this Alex QA is good. Okay, this one chat. Okay, so not question at the moment. Okay, but yeah, if you have a question, then let us know later, and then we will share the video later on also. And okay, thank you, Alex-san.
Thank you.
Masaki-san, you want to say?
I forgot to tell you the potential companies list I show you right now. Take a photo, okay? The list of the potential companies. Yeah, potential partners.
Okay.
So share it. You can see the size of the company, and that it's not. Oh, I did not talk every company, but our staff also check it. So that's solid companies. Okay, so there is also website as well, and then if you go to the website, I hope that you can find the info something. Okay, so those are the company. Okay, there is a Sten company. This is actually, I cannot see the top. What is the potential Japanese company? Oh, I don't see the top one. What is written there? Yeah, so this is actually the part of the pre-cut company. This is actually the number of the Japanese wood house. So it's wood house is going up. So it's very important. And then this one is the number of the sauna in Japan. Okay, I just put the top 5 regions. Okay, that's as Mr. Saito explained it. It's a lot. Okay, and this is also the number of populations who use the sauna more than 1 time per month. Is 27 million people. Okay, more than 4 times per month is 3 million. So a lot of people using it. I cannot remember how many millions of people live here. So more. Okay, right. And yeah, okay, sorry. Potential companies. This company make old wood house. It's relatively easy to communicate with them. It's called a Big Box. Okay, that's a good company. As I showed, the Rakuten. Rakuten is actually selling such kind of a log house. I also put the price as well. Okay, so price-wise, it's not that expensive, I think. You know, all the price is there. Okay, that they're selling it, Rakuten. This is actually pod sauna. I think your sauna is better, I think. So you can beat them. But if you want to, you can contact. Yeah, but you can contact Rakuten because Rakuten is our member as well. They are registered members. If you want to speak, I can introduce you the president of the Rakuten. Okay. Rakuten is also do the pod sauna as well, log house as well. Log house price-wise, it's written there. Okay, it's but you know, so very, very small. As I told you, Japan, the garden is quite limited, though, so you cannot think of the selling this one in Tokyo. It's impossible. You need to go to the far away. Okay, but Rakuten there. And then those are the list of the company: Rakuten, Big Box, Wood Friends, Maken. Okay, those are the, I spoke it, so you can use my name. Okay, you can call them. But I tell you, you fail. Okay. Yeah. So that's the reason why. I mean. Because he speaks Estonian and then Japanese, so I can ask him. Okay, that's it. And then also, sorry, the last one. Okay, and then if somebody wants to know the pre-cut, there is a Fukuyama University's Professor Umekuni. He said that if you want to have some questions, because he was also the vice president of Takenaka construction company, but now he's a president. No, sorry, he's a professor right now. And then he can tell you the whole sort of thing. Also, he has, because he was a vice president with Takenaka before, so he can also help you. Again, our objective is to help you to come to Japan. Okay, we have a Saito-san there, we have a Turahashi-san there, we have a Dr. Morisato there. We can help you. Okay, and then also, lastly, please, if you think to come to Japan together with Yoshito-san to see our show, you are welcome. And then at that times, we're going to put somebody. Chelsea, are you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Chelsea is going to help you. Okay, so please. Normally, the show is start on the November. November is a building show, right, Chelsea?
Yes.
And February is the hotel.
CJ. Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, November is, I think, too short to, I think, register, no, Chelsea?
Yeah, maybe because it's only have 2 months left. You mean this year, right?
Yeah, but maybe the next year, February, if they want to come, I think they can come, no?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, but that's, I'm not joking, it's serious, okay? If you come, we're going to help you, okay? But you need to put your effort up. The regulation, forget about it, it's not difficult because behind we are minister, so we can tell you, okay? But your guts is very important. You need to read success, beat the finish, okay? That's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Masaki-san. So, like here today, the important thing is that even if you know the list of the companies, it's quite impossible to start business with them. And then, as Alex-san, he explained about his sauna business, he has Estonian entity, Estonian companies, and then start selling in Japan. But he is Japanese. He can communicate. And then he has also Japanese partner in Japan already when he started. So that's the difference. If you have no contact, no network, then if you start from the scratch, then of course it's challenging. You have to find a partner first in Japan. Right? And then unfortunately, now you cannot travel to Japan. And then, yeah, this is a question of how can we start finding the partner? This is also like a question. Well, at the moment we can do the Zoom meeting or like a Teams meeting. Well, if you want to try to sell something and then try to find a partner in Japan, it doesn't work. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. But you can start preparing at the moment. Then when this restriction is lifted, then fly to Japan and then participate in the trade show and then to find the contact in the trade show. What I always recommend the companies, the trade show is participate in the trade show is most efficient way to get customers. Because if you are already flying to Japan, if you plan to fly to Japan and participate in the trade show, then you can start calling to those potential partners. You know, if you are already planning to be there and then contact them to have a meeting, then they more or less accept, because they don't want to buy from you right now from the phone, but they will accept that they have a meeting. So when you are in Japan, then you can have a meeting. So that's the best way. And then from Enterprise Estonia, we also provide this service, like I explained, that this partner such service, that we will also set up the meetings for you. So you can combine this this service together with this trade show, like visiting Japan. Yeah. So if you have any question, let me know. If you don't, then
There is some brochure as well, so they can pick
yeah. So if there's a brochure about this trade shows as well, so if you yeah, feel free to pick up. And for the Zoom participants, I will keep them in the AIS building. So if you have time, then just come to pick up. So, okay, then I would like to close this seminar today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the guest speakers. And then thank you. Okay.
Thank you.